We're back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. You know what we're about to do? We're about to get into this Dalton preliminary financial overview. I thought this would be good for us to go over so I can educate you. About what's happening so you can fact check, so you can do all that stuff. But unlike Tiffany Henyard, unlike the super mayor of Dalton and Thornton townships, I've actually down in the comments, down in the description of this video, I actually gave you this document. So go check it out yourself. Over it, scan over it. There's some good things in here. There's some bad things. There's some ups. There's some downs. Go check it out for yourself. But I'm gonna go over it tonight. It's not really long, so we're just gonna go through Lori Lightfoot's slide presentation, kind of get an overview for it, because in a couple of weeks, Lori Lightfoot is going to give the final financial overview. And I think it'd be good for us to have this at least on our mind, because we saw the board meeting where Lori Lightfoot went over all this. We were shocked and all that kind of stuff like that, just like everybody else. But now let's just take our time, walk through it slowly, make sure we understand it, all that kind of good jazz, so that we can be good stewards when the final analysis comes out. We can ask some good questions. We can get some good 2 cents to it, all that kind of good jazz. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all for tapping in already. I appreciate you all not only checking out the content that we put on here, but also for letting me know what you like, let me know what you don't like, and so on and so forth. So thank you very much for all of that. So let's get at it. Shout out to everybody that's already up in the chat. And of course, you can become a member of the best live chat on the internet. All you gotta do is hit the like button and hop on over into the chat. What's going on, Danny Kelly? Chloe with Spunk is in the building. Always good to see Costa Chameleon in the building doing that happy dance. I got you. We got you tonight, friend. We got you. Hey, Brenda, how are you? All the way in Arkansas. Good to see you. Right now, Chloe with Spunk is in Reno, Nevada from Los Angeles. Oh, my goodness. Our neighbor said everything is gone, but we are in high spirits. Wow. So did you, I might have to come back and ask you some things about them. I'm a little star by that. I might have to ask you a little later on, Chloe. Got lots of questions about that. And y'all do what David Trailer said. He said, hit that like button. It's a friendly reminder. All right, let's get at it. Let's get active, my people, because I just heard the girls just pull into the garage. So you know we're due for a nightly interruption. So let's jump into it now. Can I do this as a slide presentation? I'll tell you, man. All right, let's go. This is the Village of Dalton preliminary financial overview. You know, shout out to Lori Lightfoot. I know a lot of people got some feelings about Lori, and I do too as well. But you know what? She put something out here, and I think it's at least a good working document that we can work with from here. What's going on, Mandy? How are you?
I didn't know I was going to come on screen. I'm sorry. I thought I was going to get in the back. You have a delay in your.
Really?
No. Yeah, I thought it was just me, so I got refreshed. It's not just me. Is there a way you can refresh your audio or something?
Okay, let me try it again. All right, so I'm talking right here. Do I look like I'm on delay now?
No.
I'm talking right now. Am I delayed? What
No.
y'all think? Am I on dial-up or I'm on that high speed? I got high speed over at Whitaker Park. What y'all think? How's it look?
You were like buffering kind of bad there, but you look fine
Really?
now.
Okay, well, that's not cool. Well, what I'll do is I will just bring up this
Oh, I was
document.
delaying too. Am I delaying? See, I wonder if you're not delaying because I'm up here with you.
I don't know. It's my first
okay.
time hearing it. Your audio is okay and hers is fluctuating. Okay.
See,
It's
I
okay.
told you.
All right, so let's do this. Don't worry about it, because don't nobody want to see us anyway. So now we just let them. Everybody came to see this document. They ain't come to see me. I'm gonna put my face in here a little bit every now and then just to make sure y'all remember how dashing I am. But that's all. All right, so this is the Village of Dalton preliminary financial overview. So we know what they went over, and there's some key areas in here I know a lot of us want to talk about. Definitely want to talk about the credit card usage, cash status, unfunded expenditures. Definitely want to talk about that. Next steps, definitely. So let's just go ahead and jump into this thing right about now. This, of course, is a disclaimer. You know what? I'm not going to read the disclaimer because I got to read a whole lot tonight anyway. Let's go. Village of Dalton Accounting. Now, as we said yesterday, one of the things with Tiffany, she always talks about she educating you, putting you down on some game, so on and so forth. Well, I want to make sure that you are educated in this regard. So please make sure down in the description for this video is this slide presentation. Go grab it for yourself. Check it over, especially if you live in Dalton. Please, 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 please go snag it up, go over it, make sure everything makes sense to you and such like that. Because I want to hear your thoughts, especially as we get ready for the final report to come out soon enough. Let's keep it going. Let's go. Village of Dalton Accounting. The village, in the same manner as other municipalities, accounts for its finances using funds accounting. All right. The fund is a grouping of related accounts that is used to maintain control over resources that have been segregated for specific activities and or objectives. I do want to bring up real quick. This is one of the reasons why a entity can have a whole bunch of money and still not be able to pay their bills in one key area. Is because they take all of the money and they put it, I hate to use the example, they put it in buckets. And so everything in the light bill bucket goes towards the light bill. Everything on the air conditioner budget goes to the air conditioner. Well, once the air conditioner budget is emptied out for that time period, there's no more money to pay air conditioner bills. And then that's when things get spicy, even though they have money in other areas. And sometimes they might have to make a decision, say, hey, we have money in the Dear World Christian budget. Can we take some of the money out of the Dear World Christian budget and put it in another place? So that's where this, and sometimes you hear this kind of bantering. It might not be primarily in the Dalton, but like, for example, I am a deacon in my church. And so we talk about this quite often because we're doing a building project. So a lot of the monies that we've had in other buckets is getting rated to get put into the building fund bucket, and we have to decide. So my head deacon cannot just say, oh, I've just decided to move money from one place and put it in here. You can't do that. Nor can our elders just say, oh, we want that to happen. It has to be a decision. So there's a little bit of wrangling, a little bit of horse trading that happens. So let me keep going. The village maintains three categories of funds: the governmental, proprietary, and fiduciary. All right. And we'll learn a little bit more about those. Under each category, there are specific funds used to account for resources designated for different purposes. Government funds include the general fund, specific revenue funds, and debt service funds. And she goes into here and explains the general fund is a group of accounts used by the village day-to-day activities, administrative, police, firefighters, and public works. So that's where all of that extra overtime would be coming from. Okay, let's keep it going. Special revenue funds are a group of accounts designated for special purposes. So, like motor fuel tax and TIFs, not Tiffany, but TIFs. And I forgot what TIF stands for. These accounts are restricted and therefore not available to use in day to day operations. So, because you're getting that motor fuel tax, I think that's the gas tax like we have here in Georgia. So there's gas tax that comes in that goes towards things like road repairs and things like that related to the roadways and transportation ways. So that money that comes in there, that money cannot be used in any other bucket besides the roadway bucket or whatever's been designated for. Let's keep going. Debt service fund, a group of accounts designated to service debt, primarily public bond debt. These accounts are restricted and therefore not available to be used in day-to-day operations either. And that's just paying off your debt. I don't want to get into the weeds of how municipalities get into debt, but they do. And they have to pay off their debt. They got to pay off the interest on it and so forth. So No, you cannot do that without approval. You can't take from column A, like we have a um, a deacon fund that the my congregation funds, and the deacon fund goes directly to helping persons in the congregation when they have financial or needs that come up, like somebody's got an elderly person has a flat tire, or Miss So and so's grass is completely out of control, and we need to hire a landscaper to go over there and take care of it because none of the deacons can take care of it for whatever reason. A lot of the time, we go cut the grass ourselves, but let's just say that. So, out of the deacon fund, we cannot use the deacon fund money that's in column A to go toward the building fund. Okay. So even if we said, man, we do have a stopgap. The deacon fund can only have so much money in it. So once the deacon fund hits its limit, that money that goes above and beyond, that goes into general, and then that could go toward the building fund. However, the deacon fund has to be fully funded, and it's a little bit. So it's not going to be anytime tomorrow that they're going to be raiding the deacon fund. But in this situation here, it seems very similar. If there's a special revenue tax, like for example, gas tax, so every gas station collects a little bit of extra tax that goes toward to the municipality to pay for things like roads, especially up north because they got snow and they're all that kind of jazz like that. The roads are probably in bad shape. Not bad shape, but they probably need a little TLC. So when they need to go and fix potholes in the springtime or repave a road, that money comes out of the motor fuel tax fund. Now, I'm sure it's probably got a pretty hefty ceiling in it, but let's just say for laughs and giggles, it's $5 million in the um, gas tax fund. Well, after that, I think the 5 million, maybe that money then spills over into another account that way, or they might just say, look, stays in there no matter what. I mean, that's possible because it is a tax, so they might need to keep it there no matter what. All right, those are just my little tirade. Proprietary funds are used to account for business types. Activities the village includes water, sewer, and Melanie Fitness Center. I, uh, I need to do some more research on this Melanie Fitness Center. It keeps coming up, and I don't know fully what they're doing with this. It seems like it's like a repurposed YMCA. And shout out to anybody that's actually from Dalton or whatnot like that. That's what it seems like. It seems like it used to be, or it it seems like a YMCA type of scenario, a fitness club. It has a pool, it's got a run track, it's got classes where people do Zumba and Pilates and stuff like that. I don't know why that's a part of the responsibility of the township, but I digress. Fiduciary funds are used to account for resources held for the benefit of parties outside of the government and included the village's pension trust funds. Now, this I think is where the firefighters' monies. And I know you all remember when the firefighters were complaining that their pensions were not being funded. I think this is where it comes from, or where it is. So we'll see. We'll keep our eyes on that because they have the responsibility of taking care of maintaining, rather, what they promised the firefighters, which is a pension, health care, insurance, and stuff of that nature. Preliminary assessment of the financial status. Village Adults Financial Reporting. The village fiscal year runs from May 1st to April 30th. All right. Certain financial disclosures are mandated by the state to be submitted to the office of the comptroller each fiscal year. So the annual report, and there's where the annual reports can be found, and the fiscal statements, or rather financial statements, please forgive me. The village has not complied with this requirement since fiscal year 2021. Let me do the math real quick. That's a one, two, that's almost 4 years, ending on April 30th, 2021, which happens to roll right along with the introduction of one Tiffany Henyard. No annual financial report available after 21. No additional financial statements available after 21. That's crazy. So this means that at this moment, nobody knows the office of the comptroller does not know what is going on in Dalton because they have not submitted their paperwork. That's crazy. Let's keep it going. Village Dalton Financial Department. Historically, the village has had a very small or no financial staff. John Kessup Company has functionally operated as the village's finance department. I can kind of see that because they're not really that big. I don't know if that's really a bad thing, but if they're not taking care of all the responsibilities, then I think that could be very problematic. Let's keep going. John's company has recently produced monthly financial reports from January 2021 to May 2024. Okay. Due to the village's failure to file the required annual financial disclosures with the state, these monthly financial reports are the only record of the village's financial status that have been made available. So actually they've done this stuff that they need to turn into the comp controller. They just haven't filed the paperwork. And I wonder if there's a reason why. As such, the financial information presented today has not been audited by an independent CPA firm. Man, that's crazy. All right, let's keep this going. Let's see what they got trouble they got going on. So, financial status as of May 30th, 2024. And of course, this is unaudited. So it hasn't been verified by a third party or anyone else. This is just looking at the financial data that was available from the JK company. Let's keep it going. The village's general fund balance was in the net deficit position, i.e., negative, aka in the red. All right, let's keep this rolling. The general fund is used to account for the majority of the village's day-to-day operations, i.e., payroll, vendor payments, and such like that. The village special revenue fund and debt services fund are in a positive position. So this is a great example right here. They have money in these buckets right here, the special revenue fund and the debt services fund, but they can't use it for general funds. So that's a perfect example of how you can have money in one bucket and be broke in another bucket. I'm sure we'll get into the weeds on it, but this is an excellent example right here. The special revenue and debt services funds are restricted, i.e., not available to use in the day-to-day operations. So I gave you that example earlier. Like, you can't take this money out no matter what. If you had, if they had $1 billion in there, they couldn't take a dime out to buy a soda pop. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't do anything with it but the special revenue fund requirements or the debt service fund requirements. They can't do anything else with it. So that's how you can have all this money in one place and still be broke. Like, literally, oh, sorry about that. They're in a net deficit position in their general fund. That's the day-to-day operations. Again, that's payroll and stuff like that. And they're negative, but they got positive here. So I'm wondering, when you hear Tiffany talk about we have a surplus, I'm wondering, is she talking about this? Because the reason I have to wonder about it is Tiffany's never shown us where she's getting that from. She just says, hey, we got $4 million surplus. We got a $6 million surplus. Well, where is it? Where did it come from? I'm wondering, is she referencing these? Because nobody knows what she's talking about. But let's see if Lori breaks it down a little bit. The general fund balance has been declining. So, wow, that is crazy. So when she came into office as of April 2022, that even if it wasn't just when she came into office, April 2022, they had a $5.6 million fund balance. Now they got a negative 3.65, which is effectively $9 million change in position. That is craziness. Increasing expense. Well, let me just real quick let y'all process that. So each year, the fund balance is going down, and I have no idea what they're doing, how they secure funds to go into the fund balance, because that would be interesting. Like, is it from just property tax? Is it from speeding tickets? How do they get the funds to go into this fund, into the general fund? Is it? I mean, well, we know they use it for giving away stuff. That's for sure. Um, so I don't know how that happens, but whatever they're doing, they're clearly in 2022 they had been doing a pretty good job at it. I don't know if it was just trimming the corners, saving money, whatever. They would seem like they were looked like they were doing a pretty good job at it. I think it's fair to say they were crushing it. But now, the next year they're almost $3 million off. So that means they spent $3 million out of this fund, and then go to next year. They literally spent $5 million between 2023 and April 2023 and April 2024, and then an additional $300,000 between April and May. That's trending at like $3.5 million every year. That's crazy work. This is amazing. And something I want to I want to throw out there, just an idea. I heard somebody talk about this. I don't know how I feel, but I don't know. I might not be opposed to it. Should elected officials, well, let me ask you a question in the chat real quick. Isn't running a city of this, whether it be big or small, isn't it fair to say that that's very much akin to running a business? Is that fair? Should mayors have some kind of business experience to some degree, shape, or form? I mean, you don't have to be like, a baron, a titan of industry or something like that. But, just maybe a little bit. Maybe you shouldn't be a German underwater basket weaving major. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you should have a little bit of business acumen, spend a little bit of time in leadership in some kind of company, and then come over here. Because isn't this basically running a company in a very, I mean, you have a family. Isn't that kind of like a little miniature, very small company? You got a husband, a wife, 3 kids. I mean, you got a budget, you got bills, you got save money in the future, you got to pay off debts. And isn't the same thing? I'm not saying that you got to be a business major to go to have a family, but when we look here, maybe just maybe part of the problem is that you shun business so badly, you look at business so badly that now you're hiring, German polka graduates to run cities, and then you got stuff like this. Just a thought. Just a thought. I see lots of yeses in the chats. Okay, I'm not crazy. David, I'm gonna put you in 0-second timeout. David said Tiffany ran a restaurant. She ran that restaurant right into the ground. That restaurant didn't last barely a year. Okay. All right, let's keep this dance going. Let's go. Increasing expenditures. Revenue and expenditures. The village's average monthly expenditures increased nearly 30% from 1.9 million, like I said, to almost $2.5 million since fiscal year 2022, from May 2021 to April 2024. That's a lot of money. And again, this is unaudited. They don't know where it all went. They haven't seen the receipts and such like that. But that's an increase year over year. It just keeps going up. So I wonder what it'll be this year. No, it's very possible, following this logic, that it could be, 2.75, maybe even more, $2.8 million. I mean, I shudder to think what would happen if nobody ever called her on the carpet about this. Yeah, just some form of financial management apart from just saying that, I really love the people and I care about the people, and what's that, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Besides those platitudes, you know what? I got an MBA in marketing, and I can at least read this revenue report. I can at least explain this. And I just to a small degree. It doesn't have to be like, again, super involved, but my goodness, in the morning, no more, you know, women's studies graduates. That just don't make no sense. Let's keep this going. Revenue and expenditures. General fund is the general fund. Revenue and expenditures in the millions for 2022. The revenue was 24.1. I have no idea where that's coming from though, but that's cool. And they spent 23. So basically they left over about a million point one in 2022. Look what happened in 2023. They brought in, because the revenues remain pretty much flat. So this has got to be something like property tax, or I can't think of where else they would be getting this from, but it seems pretty flat. It hasn't gone up a whole lot, and definitely is not going up in tandem with the expenditures. You couldn't run a household like this. Yeah, I feel comfortable in saying I don't even know your family. If your family was running a household like this, you'd probably be in pretty bad shape. But let's continue. In 23, they brought in $24.2 million, but spent 28.2. They spent $4 million more. My goodness, in the morning. Make that make sense. Wow. But don't worry, Jason, it gets worse. Last year, 2024, they brought in $24.6 million and spent $30 million. That's crazy. I, that makes no sense at all. They've gone almost 3 years without an audit, and they are prime for an audit. They need an audit like nobody's business, man. Great mercy. Oh, is this? Oh no, it doesn't tell me. Okay. Revenue expenditures. So general administration and administrative compensation. It says where they spend it, but I don't say where the money comes from though. All right. So media center, I guess that's like their library. Wow. I don't even know what the media center is, but in 2022, they spent $55,000 on the media center. In just 3 years or 2 years, please forgive me. In just 2 years, they almost doubled, actually 2.5 times that number to $121,000. That's crazy. Village Park, again, like this is going sideways. So Village Park, they did 34 the first year, 57 the second year, but then the third year they did 33, which is the least they've ever spent. This is so wild. Okay, let me see. Red. Okay, money comes from permits, property taxes, excise taxes, and tickets. Thank you so much. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Thank you so much. So they were clearly making, but see, it seems like the property tax, the excise tax, the permits, and that and tickets all seem to be pretty flat. Looking at this right here, it don't look like they're bringing in much more. So it don't look like the police are out there going out and giving extra tickets, or oh heavens forbid they actually give out extra business permits or allowing more businesses to open up. I actually did I was doing some research. There's a young guy in Dalton that they ran through the ringer for almost a year. He's a barber and he wanted to open up a barber shop in Dalton, and they just kept making him run through hoops, jump through hoops, and eventually he just quit worrying about it because they wouldn't give him a business license. So going to your point right here, Real Jacks, maybe they should have been giving out some business licenses. Oh, and sales tax from businesses, but Tiff said they don't I'm sorry, they don't have too many businesses. They might. All right, let's keep this going. Police department. This is interesting. $7.6 million the first year. Second year, 8.6. So they went up 1 million. But look at this. The next year, they went up to 9.2. So basically, from the first year to the second, they've almost increased $1.6 million. That's craziness. Fire department. Ooh, notice the fire department is going down. 3.8, then 3.6, and then 3.5. Now, I only keep bringing up the fire department because the fire department was the one that was really making a lot of noise about the fact that their pensions and their insurances are not being funded. I think that's very interesting. Finance department has gone up. I guess this is the accounting firm that they're actually paying to do the financing because they don't actually have a finance department in-house. So that makes a little bit of sense, and there's no harm, no foul there. But look at public works. Wow. This got to be the tree cutting people. Only leaves because they just wow. Started out 1.8 million. Then they just jumped. Wow. They just jumped to $2.9 million. Basically, almost saying we're gonna jump from 1.8 to just clear old 30. That's crazy, man. To $3 million. That's almost $3 million. And then the next year, they really didn't go. They slowed down. They went to 2.925, but still, that is a major jump. I have no idea how they're doing that. Here's property preservation engineer department. They're going up in the permit and license department. They went from 137. They went down. I'm sorry. They went down to 106 and then down again to $88,000. Housing department. Again, this one's kind of, I think it's almost tacitly flat after this major jump this first year. They went from 488,000 to 589,000, and then the next year 582. You got sanitation department, they got a lot going on, but they're pretty flat right here. They went from 1.8 to 1.7 and then back to 1.8. That makes a little bit of sense. And for whatever reason, she doesn't have a street maintenance because that would be definitely where I would think um, your your snow plowing comes from, and economic development. That's kind of where that whole building of new businesses and such like that comes from. Interesting. Debt services, lease payments, almost $200,000. The first year jumped clear up to 700,000 the next year, and then not quadruple, but doubled the next year to 1.5 million. That is crazy. And you see how much the surplus. They start out with a surplus of basically $1 million in a surplus. The next year they were in the negative almost 4 million. So that means they basically spent $5 million too much. The subsequent year, they went in a negative, all of that plus $1.4 million. So it's fair to say that the shift and the change here, I don't know what the proper term is in financial lingo, they went from a $1 million surplus to a $5 million deficit. That's almost $6 million swing. Wow. I don't know. That's a fantastic question. I don't know if they didn't do any street maintenance. I don't know. Maybe they didn't give Lori the receipts, or maybe they didn't have it. I don't know. This is a whole nother level of shenanigans. I don't know if anybody's company would allow them to do that. Wow. Increasing expenditures in general administration. General administration and administrative compensation expenditures have increased approximately 47% in 2 years. That's crazy. Let's say 3 years to make it easy. So it went from 6.4 in 22 to 9.4 in 24. That's craziness. That is absolutely amazing. But again, Tiffany wants to educate you. She wants to make sure you know what's going on, what's going up, and what's going down, all that kind of stuff like that. But she doesn't make this type of stuff available to the community. How is, you know, Big Mama and Mr. John down the street, how are they supposed to do this? How are they supposed to know this information? Is she's always educating people and talking about fake facts and fake news and smear campaigns and that dude in Atlanta is trying to buy a Cybertruck off my name, all that kind of stuff like that. How are they supposed to know about this stuff? For real, though, for real. How are people supposed to know how to navigate this and know that you've spent 47% more from year 22 to year 24? How's that supposed to happen? She educating people. Increasing expenditures. Oh my word. Within the general administration and administrative compensation, expenditures categories with large increases included but are not limited to liability insurance. Look at the liability. Y'all, I'm just going to go ahead and stop. We're going to go ahead and quit this live stream. Y'all just have a great night. I'm just done. Wait, do you see? I'm done. I quit. Y'all have a great night. May the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from another. Um, praise God from whom all blessing. I'm done. Look at the liability insurance from year 22 is $1.1 million. I'm just going to jump to the punchline. I'm just going to go to the punchline. How in 24 did it? It's almost triple. It is triple. That's crazy. I just, I don't even care about the other stuff. I do want to ask about these legal fees, though. I do kind of wonder about these legal fees, but I'm done. I can't even take it. How in the world? I I gotta know. Somebody gonna have to help your boy out. How are y'all? Why is y'all liability insurance almost quadrupled? Not quadrupled, tripled. How is that even a thing? Wow. Now, if you had told me you lived in LA and you in the fire situation, that would make sense. How in the world, y'all? And then look at these legal fees. These legal fees. I think this number right here, I want this number to be teased out. I want to know who is getting these fees. I want to know who's getting these fees. And I do want to say something. I'm gonna take a little caveat so I can calm down because my whoop just told me that I'm stressed out. Look, I don't think Lori Lightfoot is necessarily the best person in the world either. I know she was not a good mayor of Chicago, and lots of people in Chicago got a bitter taste about Lori Lightfoot. But for some reason or another, call me, naive. I really believe that this report is Lori Lightfoot trying to show her best work possible. And there's a couple reasons why. A lot of people talking about the fact that, she made $400 an hour. That's true. That's true. She did collect $400 an hour. But ask yourself this: if you were shady and unscrupulous, and you could demand $400 an hour, how long would you be collecting $400 an hour? Probably until you couldn't collect it anymore, right? It might be a month, 2 months, however long you could try to squeeze that out of there because you're a low down, rotten, dirty scoundrel. Lori only took about a month at very best. And you know what? I'm like, you know what? That might show that she's a better person than we thought. I'm not trying to make excuses for Lori Lightfoot, but I do want to talk about that because I saw that comment earlier. And I'm like, hey, you know what? She could have milked this thing for all it's worth and still been in the report. Now, do I know that she's not collecting money? But you know what? I gotta give her a little bit of grace right there. I think she's trying her best to show that the mistakes, dare I say, the sins of Chicago, she's repented of those and is trying to do the right thing. That's it. Now, I can't promise you that. I don't know anything based upon information and belief. I think she might be trying to do the right thing. So, and I think this is, in my opinion, proof that she's trying to do the right thing. All right, y'all, I can't go in here. I got to get off of this. Oh my gosh. Police. Oh gosh. I want to see them overtime. Police expenditures have increased approximately 21% since 22, from $7.1 million to $9.3 million in 24. I want to see, I want this broken down, Lori. Please break this down. Break this down for your boy, just for me alone. Break it down. Because I want to know, because y'all seen those pictures of Tiffany walking around with 5, 6, 9 police officers around her. I want to see how much that costs. Just do it for me. Give me a special copy, Lori. I just defended you, Lori. Help your boy out. I want to see them legal fees, and I want to see how much these people's getting in overtime. Increase expenditures in the police department. Uh-oh. There it is. Wow. Y'all read that while I just pass out over here. Y'all just read that while I pass out. Oh my gosh. Within the police department's expenditures, the categories with large increases. I can't take this job. This is the best job, I promise you. This is the best job. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm trying to pull it together. I'm sorry. These people, Jason, these people want a professional show. Okay, I'm sorry. Within the police department expenditures categories with large increases included but not a limit to overtime. Look at this. Y'all, if I pass out and die, please call Lady Dear World Christian. Tell her come in here and rescue me, please. They're right there in the kitchen and they're talking loud. So if I pass out, y'all please. Oh my gosh, man. So overtime was gosh, these people are unscrupulous, man. These people have zero chill. They have nothing holding them back. $800,000 in 22. Let's just jump to the punchline, right? In 24, $1.6 million. That means they doubled it in 2 years. It's, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh, my eyes are sweating. That is insane. I would love for y'all to any company that you work for or you have access to, I would love for somebody to show me a company that does this and is remains fiscally upright. But that was remember last year was when the year when they got called out by the media for those crazy overtimes where the guy like doubled his salary in overtime and a guy that had like basically was getting paid overtime for however many how many hours in a week for basically he was not working for Tiffany for like 20 hours. Oh my gosh, I'm trying not to pass out in here. Tell my wife if I die. Oh my gosh. So basically they've doubled their overtime in 2 years. But they haven't doubled the revenue that's coming in. Therein is the rub. Now, if their revenue had what page was that on? Yeah, right here. If the revenue coming in had increased, then I think maybe we could all say, well, hey, they could do some other things, right? But they didn't. The revenue has stayed pretty much flat. That's not moving very much. Not in tandem with the expenditures. Oh my gosh. How did y'all put up with this? Okay, where we at? This is ridiculous. Shout out to Miss Mandy for telling me to go over this tonight. I was going to do it later, but my gosh, this is well worth it. Police department expenditures. We are aware of at least two officers within the police department who were paid more in overtime pay than their regular pay. Y'all, I'm going to pass out. I don't think I'm going to make it. I don't think I'm gonna make it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say thank you so much to Blaine for the $10 super. You are the channel sponsor, my man. Thank you so much, Blaine, for the $10 super. I appreciate you liking the content and for blessing the channel with the $10 super. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you, man. Okay, I'm trying to pull myself together, y'all. Y'all, do me a favor. Let's just type Blaine in the chat. I gotta get myself together because I don't think I can handle it. Shout out to Blaine. Thank you so very much. Okay, back to shenanigans. Y'all, they done put this whole man on front right here. They said we gonna tell everything about you. They said this dude gets regular pay, holiday, vacation, personal sick, and personal leave. In 2023 was $72,000. In 2024 was $87,000. Okay, keep it moving. Time due. I don't know what time due is, but let's keep it moving. He almost had $10,000 in 23. That was almost doubled. Amazing to 25,000 in 24. Then he had retro. I don't know what retro is, but let's all the smoke clears. His first year, 2023, his salary was $194,000. In 2024, it was $227,000. Y'all, these people have no morals, man. And this one is even worse, it looks like. Again, same thing. Officer William Reed. We see how much his salary was. Is doubled, not doubled, I apologize. About 20,000 more from 23 to 24. Time due was basically that looks like it was increased almost 8 times. I don't know what that is, time due. I need some of that time due then. But then his overtime, look, $87,000 in overtime. That's just crazy all on his face. You only make 55? I need some overtime. If I sit in front of this booth, I wonder if I get some overtime. My wife gonna be like, "Boy, get your crazy stuff out of here." But then the next, you got $102,000 in just pure overtime. That is craziness. These people have no chill at all. Oh my gosh! So I brought this up in a video. I talked about all the people that Tiffany has around her. She got a lot of people with some questionable history. One of those people is Acting Chief Lacey. Now, we understand that Acting Chief Lacey has not been included in the collective bargaining unit for some time. Well, the reason is because Mr. Lacey is basically a contract employee. So if you work a job where you get a contract, a lot of the time you don't work 40 hours. You might work 45. You might work 38. You might work from home. You might do a little extra work on the weekend. So there's not really an expectation that you work a true hard and fast 9 to 5 Monday through Friday because you're a contract employee. Well, in the police situation, non-contract employees are open to what's called collective bargaining, or basically the police union bargaining, because they get paid by the hour and they're available, and they can rather get overtime because they might say, hey, collective bargaining says that we work 50 hours. So on the 51st hour, you got to give us time and a half, or maybe that's it. You think that might be it? Time and a half? Time due? No, that wouldn't make sense because it would be overtime. Um, so if I make, $60 an hour from hour 0 to hour 50, but then when I get to hour 51, I make $75 an hour because that's the collective bargaining. Well, the thing is, Chief Lacey was not a part of that collective bargaining because he was a contract employee. Let's keep it going. He has received overtime pay in 22, 23, 24, and 25, amounts through July 2025. So all of this money right here, he should not have been able qualified to get because he's not a contract. I'm sorry, because he is a contract employee. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just reading something. I apologize. Please forgive me. So Lacey's collected almost $200,000 in overtime that he should not have been able to get because he's not a part of the collective bargaining agreement, basically not a part of the police union. Unfunded expenditures, checks issued but not sent to vendors. This is so weird. I even when I heard it in the board meeting, I'm like, wait, y'all wrote the checks and you had to set them on the desk? That makes no sense. But I digress. Let's keep it going. Unfunded expenditures. Since March 2023, the village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with its available cash balance. Since that time, nearly every month, a portion of checks approved and printed have been held by the village due to unavailability of funds. Per John JKC records of the June 18th, 2024, there are 189 checks totaling, y'all stop this, totaling $6 million that have been approved and printed but not sent to vendors. That's crazy. And we've heard of these stories from the people that make the banners to at one point I want to say it was police cars that were on the all kinds of stuff. It doesn't make sense. So that is wild that they don't have that they're sitting on almost 600 checks totaling 60 I'm sorry, $6 million. Let's keep it going. Unfunded expenditures. The 6 million of held checks does not account for additional monies potentially owed by the village for which checks have not been printed. This includes invoices that have been received by village departments but not entered into the accounting system, which is my viewpoint. Invoices that have been entered into an accounting system but have not been approved by the department heads or by the village administrator. Invoices that have not been approved for payment by the board of trustees. So this $6 million number could be easily way above that. Way above that. Let's keep it going. Let's find out what else we got. Cash status. Oh gosh. Oh man, that little walk around money gonna cause a problem. Bank balance. A village has 22 different bank accounts. Why y'all got 22 different bank accounts? Now, to be fair, maybe that makes sense. 22 just seems exorbitant. 22 just seems like that's some nasty work right there. 22? That just seems okay. Maybe it's right. I don't. 22 just seems like nasty work. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to think. There's got to be a reason. The majority of these accounts are designated for special revenue funds or bond escrow funds. As such, the funds are restricted and cannot be used for general operations. So we have a large fund, going back to me being a deacon. So we have a large fund for certain things, but we know that in that large fund, there's, I want to say it's three little buckets within the big bucket. So we don't have this. Yeah, I mean we have a effectively have a big bucket, and we know in the big bucket is $1 million. But in the bucket are three smaller buckets with 300,000 in each bucket, if that makes sense. I might not, well, 333,000 to make it a million. So you can only use what's in that one bucket. You can only use $333,000 for whatever it is. Why do you have so many that just seems like a recipe for disaster. And maybe a finance person, if you're a finance person, could it be an FDIC thing? FDIC insures up to $250,000 each account. That might work. And I I'm gonna let you have that. I'm gonna I'm gonna let you have that. You know what? Thank you, Costa Chameleon. I'm gonna say that probably that makes sense. But I'm just saying, in my mind, it makes sense. Like, okay, maybe that's it. Because you can have a lot of money in there. Oh, okay. Again, just 22 accounts. Just seems like nasty work. Wyoming girl. I can't imagine reconciling 22 every month. Well, they haven't been doing it, so that might be why, because they got too many accounts. They said, "Look, man, we can't even let's let the bodies hit the floor. We don't know what's going on here." The police and fire and IMRF pension assets are held in trust accounts and are not included in the 22 bank accounts above. I wonder, does she dig into those pension accounts? The village uses one account as his main operating account to pay the majority of his expenditures. So this is the main operating account. In April of 21, it had $1.4 million. In June of 24, it had $715 million. Wow. I mean, 7.5, $715,000, which is a decrease of almost $77,000 in just 3 years. So that means they're overspending like crazy drunk people. Bank balance. In addition to his main operating account, the village has historically held excess cash in its interest-bearing account managed by the Illinois Treasurer's Office called the Illinois Fund. I've heard about this. Yes. So in April 21, it had $2 million. Yo, they got like our bank account numbers up in there. Dang. Wow. So in 3 years, they went from $2 million in the Illinois Fund to basically $4,000. Yo, that is wild. Dude, that's a decrease of $2,026,446. Nasty work. Wow. Yo, Illinois, what are you doing? That is amazing. So that's in 4 years. I'm sorry, in 3 years, they overspent $2 million in this out of this account. What do you get this? What is this account for? In addition to the main operating business. So this is just excess cash because you brought in too much money. You put in an interest-bearing account to be used with the Illinois Treasurer, and it's called the Illinois Funds. Wow. Cash balances. The general fund's cash position, as known in the monthly financial reports, has deteriorated. They use the word deteriorated. They didn't say decrease. They said deteriorated substantially since April 22. So the general fund, this is some nasty work right here. Basically, the general fund had $5 million in it as of April 22. So basically, in 2 years, so April 22 to April 24, they went from a $5 million positive position to basically a $4 million negative position. Just rounding up for quick math. That's a $9 million swing. Please make that make sense, y'all. And please understand, they spent between these 2 months another $2 million in 2 months. So now this is basically $6 million, just saying for easy math, $6 million. So that's an $11 million swing in position. How in the world do you do that? This is a $5 million positive, and you go to a let's just say for easy math, $6 million negative. That's $11 million, my guys. That's crazy. Y'all, Illinois, y'all better do something. I would love to see. I ain't never want to look at an audit so much in my life, but I would love to see where this goes. All right, let's go. Credit. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. We're gonna have to take a break because y'all know credit card. Everybody's seen the credit card stuff, shenanigans. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to take a second. We have a word from our sponsor. Let's get back at it, Jason. Let's go. Credit card. I like that one. That's even better. Credit card use. Here it comes. And we heard a lot of, I remember one of those board meetings where they were really going at it about the credit card use and not knowing who's on the credit card and who's spending on the credit card and where is it going. We are aware of 6 different credit cards that have been in use at various points in time from January 2021 through at least May 2024. Four American Express cards that appear to have been used by the police department. Statements associated with these cards were addressed to Ernest Mobley, Robert Collins, and Louis Lacy. Okay, so is that all of so four American Express cards are used by the police. That's wild. That's wild. All right, let's keep it dancing. One American Express card for which statements are addressed to Keith Freeman, the village administrator, and one Fifth Third Bank, which is statements addressed to the village. Okay. My only question is, um, how did Lori get this information? Because it seems like it's just that they're playing like three card Monty. They're not letting everybody know what's going on anyway. So how did she find this? And my next question, my building off of that question is, if you found it this way, how do you know that there's no other credit cards? How do you know that there's only six? Because there could be a seventh one. Could be I hate to say it, could be an eighth or a ninth one. How do you know that? And I'm not saying, I'm not fronting on Lori, but I just want to know, how did she find this out? To date, we have received some, but not all credit card statements. Credit card use. Oh my word. We understand from KC manager that receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided. Further, we understand that the credit card balance is paid as a matter of course, and it is reflected in the accounting records as miscellaneous police department expenditures. That is some nasty work. So you could be buying just about anything. You could be buying pretty much anything on the credit card and then just pay it off through miscellaneous police department expenditures. That's crazy. These payments do not appear on a warrant list and are not therefore, I'm sorry, and are therefore not presented to the board for approval. That's crazy. Remember, Tiffany said, do your homework. So y'all go check this out. Go listen to some of those board meetings. Do they bring up these miscellaneous police department expenditures? Because otherwise, Tiffany is she's being dishonest, shall we say. We understand from JKC manager that the only time a credit card charge would be reflected on a warrant list is if the receipt is provided. Where's the receipts? Remember, Tiffany talked a lot about receipts yesterday. Talked a lot about she's going to be bringing the receipts. Bring the receipts. Where's the receipts, Tiff? And I think we all know this. I mean, this is a gigantic shell game. She's just scamming these people, man. Shout out to the people in Dalton and Thornton. Y'all got to do something about this. Let's keep it going. Credit card use. Oh my word. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. Why you gotta why you gotta make it stand out, Lori? That's flag on the play. Flag on the play. Lori, why you gotta do that to them? While we do not have a complete set of credit card statements, there are some purchases that require further investigation. Some examples of notable charges identified to date are below. Yo, y'all need to tell me what, look, all this stuff we talk about, Amazon in one day. What's up with this Wayfair? This is craziness. I don't even know what they order at Wayfair. I see there's no Timu though. I did notice that though. But I don't even know what you're getting from Wayfair like that for almost 7.7 million thousand dollars. That's crazy. But then I know the elephant in the room, $33,000, basically 37,000, effectively $42,000 to Amazon in one single day. And remember, Tiffany wants you to do the research. She don't want you to be caught up in fake news. She don't want you to be in the smear campaign. She don't want you to join that guy down in Atlanta that's trying to buy a Cybertruck off her name. But for real though, for real people, come on, come close. That's crazy. What you buying from Best Buy? I mean, that's some cheap stuff in Best Buy if you consider how much you spend other places. I mean, Best Buy got Shanghai. Girl, you done spent $505 at Walgreens. What are you getting? And you did it twice. I'm sure those are probably money gift cards that you spent somewhere else, but what are y'all doing? Yeah, that looks like probably got a whole bunch of gift cards. Man, y'all are straight scam. why why Tiffany move like a Nigerian scammer? Why she move like a Nigerian scammer? Like, look, I'm gonna send you, $100,000. I need you to send me $50,000 back on the gift card. Like, what? This is craziness. All right, let's go. Credit card use. Credit card use. In addition, there are also several charges related to travel, such as Birmingham, Illinois. Birmingham. This dude said Birmingham, Illinois, Birmingham, Alexander, Alabama, and Montgomery, Alabama. 5 unknown travelers. Washington, D.C. 4 unknown travelers. That's craziness. Vegas, Nevada. 8 known travelers. Jackson, Mississippi. 3 known travelers. Austin, 3. Portland, 4. Central and Southern Illinois, 10 hotel rooms. New York, 1 known traveler. Stay out of my city. Atlanta, Georgia, 1 known traveler. Get out of here. Don't be coming back in Atlanta. Summary and next steps. The general fund is used to pay the vast majority of village's expenses. As of May 31st, 2024, this fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million. How in the world is that possible? Oh my word. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm wondering if it would be beneficial to start looking at persons with a little bit of business sense to be mayors and these type of elected officials, because you just got to know more about life than you love on people and you want to uh was it I love you and can't ain't nothing you can do about it. It's got to be a little bit more than that. The village general fund expenditures have exceeded revenues the past 2 fiscal years, ending on April 30th, 2024 and April 30th, 2023. As of June 30th, 2024, the cash on hand unrestricted accounts is insufficient to cover the $6 million of held checks. That's craziness. So that means people haven't gotten paid and that money's just sitting there. That's just sitting. I'm sorry. The checks are just sitting there, but the people haven't gotten paid because they don't actually have the money. This is a major dumpster fire. Summary: the village has no budget 4 months into the fiscal year. Okay, that's the year that the year that just concluded. I'm sorry, the year that they're currently in. Please forgive me. Village's financial records have not been audited since fiscal year 2021, and the village has not filed a state mandated annual report since fiscal year 2021. Next steps: obtain additional financial information to better understand the expenditures, additional details regarding credit card spending, i.e., receipts, detailed accounting records and reconciliations, check registers, detailed accounting of interfund transfers and balances. What's interfund? Okay. Additional detail on existing financial policies and practices, travel, including Las Vegas trips in 22 and 23, and Thornton Township. I wonder what that means. Oh, okay. Understanding the expenditure. Yeah, and I think a lot of people have mentioned this. Like, it seems to be a little bit of money hanky panky going on with that Thornton and that Dalton, respectfully. So yeah. All right, let's keep this going. Questions from the trustees and then appendices. All right. Not man, this is wild. Okay, so did put this full document just so we don't go over everything and put you to sleep. I did put the full document in the description of this video. Matter of fact, let me just do this real quick as well. Just speed up the process. There you go. I'm gonna drop it in the chat as well. All right, so that's there. So you can check it out. Please go look at it because on the 27th, Lori Lightfoot is giving the final report. And it'd be cool for y'all to look at this and have a good understanding of this one. And then, of course, when we go over the next report, we have a pretty good working knowledge and such like that. This was pretty, I have to admit, this was a lot easier to understand than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be a lot of highbrow financial jargon. That wasn't that difficult. There's just some terms and stuff like that that probably, I probably could have figured them out. I'll probably figure them out before the night's over with. But no, that wasn't bad. That wasn't bad at all. All right, Wyoming girl, my pleasure. That was a lot of fun. Shout out to Miss Mandy. She really wanted me to make sure I went over this, and I want to say thank you so much to you, Mandy. I appreciate you. Robert Kennedy. Oh no, she. Oh no, I'm gonna go on a limb, and a lot of people were mentioning it yesterday. Matter of fact, hold on. Did y'all see that the Dalton trustees had a town hall meeting this weekend? Let me pull that in. Hold on one second. And the reason I want to bring this up is I'm going to show you something that we didn't see yesterday with whatever her name is. Whatever her name is. There it is right here. Okay. I just want you to see this. I'm gonna bring this in with Miss Tiffany Henyard. Let me bring this in. All right. This is the Clean House 2025. They had a little powwow yesterday. It looked like it was a lot of fun. Do y'all notice something about this picture? Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for y'all. Do y'all notice anything about this picture? Just put it in the chat when you see it. See, make this a little bigger. It's not allowing me. Aha. Aha. Y'all see anything? Notice anything here? What do we have? I see a lot of family reunion conversation going on there. Oh, it's Tea with the Trustees. Please forgive me. It was called Tea with the Trustees. It's calm and organized. Okay, I like that. I like that. But no, it's calm. Okay, yeah. There's something else I really want you to notice about this. And let me give you a little hint. In comparison to Tiffany Henyard's meeting that she had yesterday, we talked about it yesterday, but let me know what you think. Well, there's no Tiffany. That's a blessing. Full tables. Trustee Belcher applied for a Cook County administrative position. Really? Okay. The elder residents, got you. Got you. I like that peach. Just me. They look engaged. Uh-huh. Kiana, she's on my mind. There are people there. Remember yesterday when we watched the video of Tiffany, the live stream of Tiffany? Remember, she never turned the camera and let you see who was there. And when we went to Critical Smoker, he said there might be like 10 people at tops 20. And Burgundy Blue Commentary, she also confirmed that it was no more than 20 people in there. This room is filled to the gills, and they actually showed you that the people were there. And I thought that was really telling that the trustees seem to have zero problem engaging with the people. I would love to hear how these teas with the what do you call it, teas with the trustees, um, tea with the trustees, how that goes. Because again, these people look super engaged. That I have to admit, the Dalton people look way. Y'all are super engaged with your community. That's why I'm surprised Tiffany's gotten away with these shenanigans and hijinks this long. Because y'all are in the mix. Y'all are in the throes. Y'all have no problem. Y'all will go over to the Thornton. Y'all come back to Dalton. Y'all will go with tea to the trustees, and y'all go raise Cain with Jedediah. Y'all don't be playing. I love it. But yeah, this is I just thought was super interesting that they had tea with the trustees and they showed the picture. And this is on their page. This the Dalton trustees YouTube channel. They show the picture because there actually were people there. I don't think there was anybody at Tiffany's thing. I mean, not saying that. I mean, 20 people is 20 people, but Compared here, they got a lot of folk here. I just thought that was super interesting. And yeah, shout out to the trustees. Preferably, so y'all said Kiana Belcher's trying to go to Cook County Administrative. Okay, that's cool. I mean, she works hard, man. She's a hardworking woman. I hope that wherever she is, she's going to be a blessing. I hope whoever takes her place, if she's not going to be on Team Clean House 2025, that the right person gets in so that they can do the right work. Because that's what they're going to need, somebody to keep receipts. They're going to need somebody to find receipts. They're going to need somebody to have a good, clear mind. So hopefully they got the right type of person that's thinking about taking her place. So okay, let me see what I'm missing here. Oh, she wasn't selected. Okay. I don't think they were using T as a trustee. They've been doing T with trustees for a while. I remember that. They've been doing it for a long time. So, unlike Tiffany, who was using hers as a true bona fide campaign stump, campaign speech, warm up act, this was, as far as I know, it was just answering questions. She probably wasn't complaining about the other side. They probably weren't. All right, let me see, guy here. Hey, thank you, David Trailer, for becoming a not only being a member of the channel, but blessing somebody with a membership. Thank you so much for that, sir. You're no longer in 0 second timeout. Well done, sir. Thank you so much. Now we're going to find out for certain, prayerfully. I'm with you, Sapphire Ridge News. I want her to lose it. I think we're going to get confirmation of that fact on Friday, but I'll keep my thumb on the pulse. And as soon as I hear something, we're jumping back in here. Oh, she could say it till the cows come home. She can say it, but if the judge doesn't agree with her, then it don't matter. I have no idea where my Stanley Cup is. I think my kids commandeered it. No, lots of good commentary back in here. I think she took it to the not Georgia, to the Illinois Supreme Court. Don't quote me on that. I thought she took it up another step, but I'm not 100% certain. Oh yeah, she win every case according to her. I think it's easy for her to just say stuff. Like she just says stuff. I don't think she even considers it. I think she just says stuff. Um, would it be okay with you all? I do want to support a content creator. Would it be all right with you all if we jump from Dalton over to LA? If y'all are okay with that, and if not, then we can finish talking about Dalton. But I do want a content creator that lives in LA that did a quick video explaining his perception of what's happening in LA, and it was really informative. I have to admit, I love these. And matter of fact, you know what? Here's a question. Thank you. There's 600 of y'all watching. Thank you so much. Please make sure you like the video. My name is Jason. I do social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective, and I just like to talk about these topics and have a good time yapping, as my kids like to say, yapping with y'all. If you run across anybody that's in LA, vloggers and such like that are doing commentary, kind of like boots on the ground. I love hearing what the news has to say. I love hearing what big outlets have to say. But I like here in a moment, I think you all will understand. Like yesterday, we watched Decoy Voice. That was a fantastic summary from somebody who's right there in the midst of it. So I really like those. So if you run across one of those, could you please hit your boy up? You can email management right there and just let me know, hey, this is one you might want to check out, and it's such like that, because I would love to be able to keep bringing light to what's going on over in California. That's totally, I can't imagine. I can't really wrap my mind around some of the stuff that these people are dealing with. So if the best I can do is bring a little bit of attention to it and encourage you to pray for these people and pray that the Lord send some rain. That's the best I think I can do, because when you see some of these pictures, you are going to be upset. You are going to be angry. I'm promising you, because Fawcett Media, matter of fact, let me drop his link in here as well. He did an excellent job of just finding some of the best. I didn't realize some of the properties that have been destroyed. When you see some of these houses and you realize that they were eaten up by the flames, you're gonna be a little bit upset. When you see the guy walking around the reservoir, and the reservoir is as dry as slot machines at 2 o'clock in the morning in Vegas, you're gonna be upset, because you're gonna be like, what the world? So let me just bring it in. I just want to give shout out to good content creators, and this gentleman does an excellent job. I've been watching his content for a long time, and I think this is probably, in my opinion, one of his better videos. I don't know what he does out in LA, but shout out to Fawcett Media. I just dropped his link in the chat, and you did a live on this. Oh, please, and don't let me overstep myself now. I just wanted y'all to watch it. I think it would be super dope if y'all go support him and what he's doing over there, and just give him a shout out. Let's go. Here.
This is fucking insane. What's going on now? The LA fires. Many of you know I live in California. Let's just say prior to a couple months ago, I actually would have been in one of the affected areas. But that doesn't minimize my outrage. How many friends and loved ones that I have in this area, and to have to see them be subjected to the highest levels of incompetence. It's ridiculous. None of this had to happen. None of this had to happen. And the mismanaging of this just highlights how inadequate our leadership is in the city of Los Angeles, the county of Los Angeles, and the state of California. So Wednesday night, I was driving home from the Los Angeles area, and I noticed that I had heard word of, the fires that were starting. And I noticed that on my way, I stopped in Burbank just for a second. It was later in the evening. There was no power pretty much anywhere. The whole side of the road was dark. And I'm sitting there like, what is going on? So I'm listening to a show, and they're talking about how an area in Pasadena is now also on fire. An area called Altadena is now on fire, in addition to the fire that I heard about in the Pacific Palisades. And the Pacific Palisades that have been ongoing, as well as several different smaller fires that were going on the way. And then I saw it. I looked to my right, and up in the hills, headed towards Silmar, you guessed it, fire. You had exits blocked off. It was ridiculous, but it looked reasonable enough that it could be contained. Shortly thereafter, we hear of these fires ongoing, and now it's impacting Hollywood. Hollywood is where I used to live. They said there's a fire in Sunset. And, somebody even said, yeah, I think it's actually the hills where the Hollywood sign is. Well, actually, it's not. It's another favorite destination of a lot of Los Angelinos and visitors that come here every year. Runyon Canyon was on fire. All of these fires were going on at the exact same time. What the hell is going on? Now, being a Californian off and on for the last 25 years, you start to realize that wildfires can happen. But you start to also realize the reasons for these wildfires and why things like this happen. And a lot of times it is man-made. Somebody flicked a cigarette out of the car driving by. But these seemed purposeful. These seemed like something different. And when I tell you the response to them, the overwhelming of the fire department and the resources of Los Angeles, it just made me realize we're in a different ball game here. And then when you wake up and see the devastation, it looks like a post-apocalyptic scene in the Pacific Palisades right now. That's a tongue twister. A post-apocalyptic scene in the Pacific Palisades. Ground raised, fires ongoing still. Everything, cars piled up, cars getting moved with bull, just stacked. People got out of their cars and started running. In the short 4 or almost 5 days now that this has been going on, you mean to tell me that we had reports of fire hydrants being dry because the water was being overwhelmed?
This was supposed to be the water to put out the Palisades fire. This is the Santa Ynez Reservoir. It's the water supply basically for the Palisades. When they first started fighting the Palisades fire, they ran out of water extremely quickly. Wednesday, 3 a.m., they were basically out. And there's been a lot of talk on why this happened.
Hey, real quick, everybody, if you can find this full video, I would love to see this guy's walk around the gigantic reservoir that holds 117 million gallons that's basically effectively bone dry. If you find that, man, send it to your boy. I know it's called the Freedom Press or the Free Press or something like that. I couldn't find it, and I don't know, maybe my spidey senses were not up to snuff. But if you find it, please send it, because I would love to review it. Again, shout out, or just if I can give some kind of attention to this by some way, shape, or form, that's the best I can do, then I would love to do that.
So how long has this reservoir been empty for?
Since February of last year. There was no communication from the Department of Water and Power to LAFD that there was a water supply issue.
The firefighters, when they started fighting the fires, no one informed them that the reservoir was empty. This reservoir holds 117 million gallons of water.
That's
the
a lot
fire
of water.
department was using a water supply from 3 backup tanks, each one only holding 1 million gallons of water. They say it's closed for maintenance to repair the lid that's on top of it. I don't know a lot about reservoir maintenance, but there's literally no construction materials or vehicles anywhere in sight. Also, with a reservoir like this, you can refill it or start to refill it. So another question is, if they saw the Santa Ana winds were coming and we have this remarkably dry wet season, why was there no attempt to start refilling it back up? I know I threw a lot out there, but I think we need some answers, guys.
You've got clouds in the sky that cover almost the whole city. This is a travesty. This is a response of, I don't know, the Keystone Cops. This is third world country behavior. And the fact that we are in such a developed part of the country and such a wealthy part of the country that we couldn't get a response better than this. Then I hear the military is being deployed to fight fires. You know, the great story of Kamala Harris was they were using prisoners as firefighters in California. They were being paid $5 a day, and these people were out there risking their lives, whether they be criminals or not. Some of them were being held past their release date so that they could still fight these fires. But the biggest travesty in this, as we've said time and time again in California, you have to clear the brush. The brush was literally taken out of the budget. Brush clearing was literally taken out of the budget. So literally you're building up an area that is like a tinderbox. Fire hits it and it just explodes and there's no containing it. This would have stopped.
Because the county of LA and the city of LA had suspended brush removal in Palisades. This comes down to the county.
Are you joking?
Yeah, you can find it. You can find it was suspended here. Casual brush removal suspended here. Limited brush removal suspended here.
Plus other measures that can be taken. There's a whole science of this. People who actually study what you're supposed to do to prevent fire, to create barriers around things. And for some reason, none of this was done. And in fact, less in the budget was given for this particular function.
It was cut 17 million. It was cut this. It wasn't cut at all, according to one newspaper. Was your budget for the fiscal year 2024, 2025 cut?
I can tell you, I'm going to even go back further than that. Again, since day one, we've identified huge gaps in regard to our service delivery and our ability from our firefighters, boots on the ground, to do their jobs. Since day one, this is my third budget as we're going into 25-26. What I can tell you is we are still understaffed, we're still under-resourced, and we're still underfunded. So with that, whether it's 7 million, 10 million.
But was the budget cut, Chief?
Yes, it was cut, and it did impact our ability to provide service.
Now, whether that falls on Mayor Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom, who they all should share some of this blame, this is insane, because these precautions that could have been put in place, though they would have cost money, millions of dollars, that cannot compare to the billions of dollars that are going to have to be paid to rebuild this city. Billions of dollars. And not only that, the insurance companies, the interesting move that they did right before this fires happened, a lot of the insurers left specific high-risk fire zones like the Pacific Palisades.
Fact, State Farm announced last year they would non-renew 30,000 policies in what they called, ready for this, wildfire risk areas. And you're thinking middle of nowhere, Big Bear, up in the forest. Nope. Guess what? They non-renewed. Here's the stat, Pat. State Farm non-renewed 69% of the policies it had in Pacific Palisades. Data point this morning confirmed. State Farm said last year, we're non-renewing 69% of the homes we insure currently today in Palisades. Why? Long-term brush risk and poor management of the common area.
These houses are uninsured. And sir, you say, oh, these are rich people or whatever. Think about the towns of Altadena. Those are working class areas, especially Altadena is one of the first Black middle class areas in Los Angeles. Totally destroyed.
I've been seeing a lot on social media about how the fires here in LA are mainly destroying rich celebrity homes. And I am here to tell you that that is so incredibly inaccurate. I realize if you don't live here in California or LA, your perception of LA is completely screwed up by what you see on TV and the movies. There's a lot of regular folks that live here, and there's a lot of folks that live below the poverty line here in LA. There are 8 wildfires actively burning here in LA County. One of them, the Eaton fire in Altadena, has completely burned California's first middle-class Black neighborhood. Not rich folks, not celebrities. These are mainly 3rd and 4th generation Black family homes. Altadena was one of the first suburbs in LA that Black people could buy houses in. The people that lived in these neighborhoods were the first people in their families to buy a house. These are hardworking, middle-class Black folks, Black families, multi-generational families living in these homes. As of today, these neighborhoods do not exist. It's not there anymore. These homes have been completely wiped out. Businesses, grocery stores, banks, low-income apartment buildings, rent-controlled apartment buildings, gone. The entire neighborhood has been burned to the ground.
7,000 homes, I believe, have been destroyed through this fire. I was just over there the other day, and this is ongoing. This is a failure of such huge proportions. And I can't help but think California's reputation as this democratic bastion of liberal ideology is going to go away because of it. Now, there are all sorts of theories floating around why this type of thing happens. What plans do they have in the future? Why do they want to displace this many people? And it's no telling. It's no telling. But, I know the Olympics is coming this way. I know the Super Bowl is coming this way in the next few years. So many things are coming this way, and it's starting to look like, how could we manage such a world event if we can't even handle our local fire business? We can't even handle the disaster relief. This isn't even a outside threat that's happening. This is something that we're supposed to be prepared for as an area that gets this type of fire every year. I mean, as somebody who's lived here over the years, we've had fires all the time. It happens, it's isolated, it's in a specific area, it's probably remote most times, and every year it's taken care of. But now we actually seeing fires threatening residential areas. They're saying that the area of Brentwood is potentially next in one of these fires. All these homes, all these, and I when I tell you, like, some of the homes in Los Angeles are 100 years old.
Watch this.
I mean, some of these areas are never going to be the same. So this is an alert right now. We have to figure out how. And the fire chief literally says that she was underfunded, but you still got people trying to cop pleas for Mayor Karen Bass or Gavin Newsom and trying to wrap their way around the words.
Karen Bass did not cut the fire department's budget where there was no water cut. All the reservoirs were full, so there was no more water to put in the mother. But y'all talking about we run out of water, the fire hydrants are out of water. Well, this is a once in a lifetime historical mother event. Nobody prepared for hurricane winds carrying fire all over California. This never happened before. Of course you're going to run out of water. The water pressure was affected because everybody needed the water at the same time, you dumb. Like, I'm so tired of people pontificating online and affecting real important and you don't know what the you're talking about. The goddamn editor of the LA Times, this model minority motherfucker, you out here spreading lies. So now y'all can't even trust the goddamn LA Times because this motherfucker's lying. Lying because a black woman is in charge. I will never understand. Yes, I do. I understand it. But I don't see how useful it is to you to hurt yourself in order to hurt black people in this country. Y'all are idiots. You're morons. And it's time for you to wake the up, smarten the up. Smarten up, Nas. You need to smarten the up and learn how this works so that you're not getting got by the okie doke. Everybody that fell for that saying that Karen Bass is the reason why the Palisades was on fire. First of all, the Palisades ain't even in her mother's jurisdiction. So there's that part. But outside of that, you want to blame a black woman for every issue in your life when without black women, you wouldn't even have a motherfucking life in this country. And yes, I'm talking to every motherfucker that wasn't born here and the motherfuckers who were born here.
And like I said, I'm safe. Don't need to worry about me. I am far away from the action for now, knock on wood. Because who knows? At this point, if they've got that much going on, then how could any other area get any attention? How could any area get any support? But I think it's really telling that this is a watershed moment as we transition out of whatever the last 4 years has been. And we're just going to have to wake up. We're going to have to wake up and do something different. I can't even imagine film industry coming back here. They were already leaving Los Angeles. And now why would they come back and build in this area? Like, that's why there's been so much runaway production. That's why there's been such a depression on just everything that's been happening. They've been having strikes every other month, it seemed like. But I want you all to take notes and remember who and how they responded when it comes time for election, because this is ridiculous. This is elementary stuff that we should be able to deal with, but for some reason, we're not able to deal with it.
All right. So shout out to Fawcett Media. Thank y'all so much for checking it out. And like I said, if you run across some more citizen journalists or vloggers or whatnot that are in the Cali, LA area and are doing something, like there's a guy that is riding his bike through. I don't know if it's safe, but he was riding his bike at night through the fire areas, and it was crazy. Hold on one second. Uh, I did not plan on bringing that up, but let's see if I find it. If I find it, I might bring it up. Okay, I don't see it. Nope, I found it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I didn't realize how long it
Active
was.
fires right here.
So he's riding a motorcycle through the area. This is wild. Yeah, don't come to Georgia, y'all. We full. We are full, and we got snow. We got kudzu. We got water bugs. What else do I need to tell you to make y'all run away from here? We do not want you here in Georgia. I'm just saying. So stay away. We got droughts every now and then, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we don't need you. We don't. No offense. No offense. For some reason my camera is. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, so I dropped the link in there. I thought this was really interesting. Just a guy that's riding his motorcycle through the fire area, giving commentary. It was super interesting. I just didn't realize how long it was. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But let me know what y'all think. Shout out to all my Georgia folk in the building. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know what else to do to bring awareness to what's going on here in LA. Well, not here, but over in LA, because this is just such a wild story. And the more it goes, the more we're going to find out. We're going to learn more stuff next week, more stuff than we knew the week before. So hopefully with that, we'll be able to, again, like make some sense out of it, because it's sad to see all these people that are just completely decimated. I can't imagine what they're going through. So shout out to all of y'all. Well, there we go. How about this? Let's get those likes up. If we get them likes up, we have to do it tomorrow. We'll take a ride with this gentleman and see rides his motorcycle through the fire areas. Gosh, that's amazing. Like, what happens when your entire neighborhood is gone? Like, where does your mail go? Like, where does your mail go? These are just a little practical questions I have. Like how do they determine your property line? All that kind of stuff to build. Like, man, this is so sad. Like, are you automatically no longer paying your electric bill? These are questions I just don't understand. May you never have to deal with it. I just don't know what to do. Like, man, it is so wild. But nonetheless, I want to thank y'all so much for rocking with me tonight. Appreciate y'all. We went over the full document of Lori Lightfoot's initial report as relates to Dalton. And in a couple of weeks, she'll be dropping that full renewed report. And I wanted us to at least have something to kind of work from, a working document. So the link is down in the description as well as in the chat here already. And then we went over just a content creator that lives in LA talking about the fires and what's going on from his perspective. And I just ask, if you run across some more of those, let your boy know. I would love to check them out and see what we can do to bring a little bit more awareness to it. Speaking of awareness, I appreciate y'all helping me hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of April. All you got to do is subscribe. And of course, you're always welcome in the best live chat on the internet. So whether we're doing a live, whether we're doing a premiere, anything like that, you are welcome. Just hit the like button and jump on in. I really appreciate it. All right, I see a lot of people just giving some good family reunion stuff, which is always good. Is that the Dalton trustees in the building? Is that the Dalton trustees in the house? What is going on? Grace and peace to y'all. And by the way, if you ever want to, Dalton trustees, If you ever need a platform and somewhere to share your ideas or want to talk, we'll gladly have you. If you would like to this evening, I can drop the link if you want to jump on and kind of give an update. I would love to know a little bit more about this tea with trustees that you have. I just want to know a little bit about that. And of course, the little bit of kerfuffle that's going on in Dalton. So if you're ever interested, Dalton trustees, you can shoot me an email if you would like to tonight. You're welcome to hop on. I will hang out with you and give you a chance to kind of give us an update. We are the undocumented Dalton Thornton residents. So just letting you know that. But we definitely support what y'all are doing to move Miss Henyard to go do something else with her life and her existence, hopefully in cell block H. But yeah, definitely. So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for stopping through tonight. Black Beauty says clean house 2025. I agree. I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, cleaning house or clean house? Because I think my kids are cleaning the kitchen. But I love it either way for sure. Oh yeah, we got Rice now. Now that we will accept Tiffany. We'll accept Tiffany over at Rice Street. Absolutely. Yeah, I would, and I'm really interested. Pink Poppy says here that before I retired, I worked at a paper mill. We also had a forestry division. They kept the land clean and replanted after logging. I would love to get into hearing like what should they have been doing? Because every now and then, Jason, every now and then, I got like a little tree hugger in me. I would love to know what should the state of California been doing? Like, what does that mean when you say, clean the forest floor? What does that mean? Like, what does that look like? And what should it have looked like if they had done it correctly? What should they have been doing? I would love to know. Well, definitely storing water, man. They fumbled the ball with storing water, but yeah. Yes, and hopefully as this continues, there'll be more opportunities. Matter of fact, I just remembered. All right, earlier today, I watched a video on a very interesting conversation we've been having related to this. Let me pull it up. I got to find it. It's been a long day because I definitely think this will be insightful. Yep, here it is right here. All right. And I did not plan on doing this, so Jose got me right there. Yeah, there was nobody at her meeting. And I would love to know a little bit more about that for sure. Yeah, a controlled burn. Okay, I can dig it. So again, like what would that look like? Do they just come through and just do a gigantic move all the dead material out of the way? Do they just do a controlled burn? How does that look? Do they bring in animals like to, you know, tear through it? Like what does it look like? Okay, but before we get out of here, I did have another video I want to share with y'all because y'all have been so great. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Where are we? How many likes y'all got tonight? We got enough likes. We got enough likes tonight. I think so. I think we got enough likes. I'm gonna go ahead and call it enough likes. If you haven't liked the video, just do your boy a favor. Hit the like button. All right. So I ran across this channel and it is called, let me real quick. And I definitely want to make sure y'all have this one because they drop some really informative videos. It is AI Telly. Now I'm sure it's probably a bot that has created this channel, but it's actually really informative. So if you've ever been not worried, if you ever wondered how fire hydrants work, I didn't know. So this is again part of that whole fire hydrants lost pressure, fire hydrants lost water, so on and so forth. So let's find out what happens. Drop a 1 in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Why did this hydrant run out of water in the middle of a firefight? That's the big question everyone's asking. Of course, the blame game has already started, but as an engineering channel, we're here to dig into the facts. We'll explain how this system works and why it failed, leaving the hydrant dry in just a couple of hours. There are a few key issues. One is that the water pressure dropped after just 40 minutes because of how much water was being used. Another big problem? The reservoir in Pacific Palisades was empty when it was needed the most, possibly due to ongoing repairs. More details all in the video ahead. Before we discuss why the hydrant went dry, let's first understand the basic engineering of how it works. Although fire hydrants may appear simple on the surface, their functionality depends on a complex system hidden below ground. The structure begins with a concrete support base, which provides stability for the joint restraining gland. This gland secures the connection between the hydrant and its branch pipe, ensuring durability and resistance to pressure. The hydrant branch is then connected to a gate valve, which regulates the flow of water. This valve is enclosed by a valve box capped with a lid for accessibility. At the core of the system is the main supply line, which links the hydrant to a water tank or reservoir. These wet hydrants rely entirely on the main water supply and are interconnected with hundreds of other hydrants throughout the network. During a fire, multiple hydrants may draw from the same water supply simultaneously. While this interconnected design ensures wide coverage, it also means that high demand can overwhelm the system, leading to reduced pressure or even a complete loss of water flow. Understanding this engineering highlights the importance of maintaining robust water supply systems to support effective firefighting operations. The water system faced unprecedented pressure, experiencing 4 times its normal demand during the California fire. In just a 40-minute period, emergency services called for 40 strike teams of engines, equating to approximately 200 fire engines. To put this into perspective, these 200 engines were simultaneously connected to fire hydrants, all attempting to draw water from the same system at the same time. However, the water pipes are only designed to accommodate a limited flow. An additional issue arises when hydrants are located in uphill areas. These systems rely heavily on water tanks to provide enough pressure to push water through pipes to both homes and fire hydrants in elevated locations. When water levels in these tanks drop too low, the system loses the ability to maintain sufficient pressure. Without this necessary pressure, hydrants in uphill areas become non-functional, further hampering firefighting operations and leaving critical areas vulnerable. We'll take a look at what causes the dry functioning hydrants. This likely impaired the effort to protect some homes and evacuation corridors due to a lack of water supply. One of the main reasons the water hydrant could not pump water was when the fire broke out in Pacific Palisades. A nearby DWP reservoir was also out of commission and empty for repairs. This large reservoir in Pacific Palisades that is part of the Los Angeles water supply system was out of commission when a ferocious wildfire destroyed thousands of homes and other structures nearby. But officials said that the Santa Ynez Reservoir had been closed since about February for repairs to its cover, leaving a 117 million gallon water storage complex empty in the heart of the Palisades for nearly a year. Here are the before and after images, which show the extent of damage to properties in Los Angeles. This particular image is from the Altadena neighborhood, where the Eaton fire occurred. Using infrared cameras from Maxar, we can clearly see the fires raging on the ground. Moving on, these are additional before and after images, also from the Altadena area. The orange glow in these images indicates active fires burning at the time. In fact, many of the raging fires started Tuesday, fueled by strong Santa Ana winds that were of the strength of a hurricane, gusting over 70 miles per hour, which translates to 112 kilometers per hour in some areas. This is the Palisades fire. It began at 10:30 a.m. local time on Tuesday, January 7, 2025. This image, captured just 15 minutes after the fire was first reported, already shows its intensity from the sky. The fire quickly ballooned throughout the afternoon, raging between the beach towns of Santa Monica and Malibu. By midnight, it had consumed nearly 3,000 acres, destroying numerous buildings and homes, so many, in fact, that officials are still struggling to determine the full extent of the damage. The cause of the fires has not yet been identified. However, what we do know is that they have been supercharged by fierce, dry winds blowing in from the northeast. These winds, known as the Santa Ana winds, accelerate as they hit the mountainous terrain around Los Angeles. This can be seen in the striking bands of pink and purple on weather maps, indicating the areas affected by these devil winds. The Santa Ana winds also drastically reduce humidity levels, drying out the land and making it more flammable. With wind speeds reaching up to 60 miles per hour, these conditions are so extreme that firefighting planes have been unable to take off. Fire chiefs describe the combination of low humidity, dry soil, and strong winds as creating some of the worst fire conditions imaginable. Southern California recently experienced an exceptionally hot summer with almost no rainfall during what should now be the wet season. This map illustrates the rainfall of the past 60 days compared to the average for this period. The brown areas around Los Angeles highlight regions that have received virtually no rain, leaving the land parched and highly flammable. This combination of factors has created a dire situation for thousands of Los Angeles residents, many of whom have been forced to flee their homes. These homes, often belonging to the rich and famous, have been reduced to ashes in mere hours. This is the grim reality faced by Californians as they grapple with an increasingly severe and prolonged wildfire season. 7 fires are currently being tackled in California. The Palisades fire was first reported at 10:30 a.m. 1830 Greenwich Mean Time on Tuesday, January 7th. Within just 20 minutes, it grew from a 20-acre blaze to more than 200 acres. By Wednesday night, the fire had expanded to approximately 16,000 acres. At least 30,000 people have been ordered to evacuate their homes. The Eaton fire rapidly grew to cover 1,000 acres within the first 6 hours after breaking out. It started in Altadena in the hills above Pasadena at around 6:30 p.m. local time on Tuesday. By Wednesday night, the fire had spread to over 10,000 acres and 5 fatalities had been reported. The Hearst fire began burning just north of San Fernando at around 10:10 p.m. local time on Tuesday. It quickly grew to 850 acres, according to local officials, and has triggered evacuation orders in neighboring Santa Clarita. The Woodley fire broke out in Woodley Park at approximately 6:15 a.m. local time on Wednesday. According to the Los Angeles Fire Department, it has now been fully contained. The Olivas fire erupted in Ventura County, northwest of Los Angeles, and burned across about 11 acres. It has also been fully contained. The Lydia fire ignited around 2:00 p.m. on Wednesday in the mountainous Acton area north of Los Angeles. It grew to cover nearly 350 acres, and as of 9:00 p.m., had been 40% contained. The Sunset Fire broke out at approximately 6:00 p.m. in the Hollywood Hills, a residential neighborhood overlooking the historic Hollywood area. It currently spans about 50 acres and is 0% contained. A mandatory evacuation order remains in place. But there were also significant funding issues that may have hampered the firefighting efforts. A potentially leaked letter from L.A. Fire Chief Kristen Crowley, dated December 17, 2024, warned Mayor Karen Bass about the repercussions of recent budget cuts. According to the letter, the $17 million reduction in the department's budget had severely limited the department's capacity to prepare for, train for, and respond to large-scale emergencies, including wildfires. This warning highlights the critical role that sufficient funding plays in maintaining readiness for natural disasters and other emergencies. The letter raises important questions about the impact of financial decisions on public safety, especially in a state like California, which is prone to wildfires. We make original videos from scratch, so please do subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos.
All right. Shout out to AI Tally. AI Telly, please forgive me. AI Telly. I'm gonna drop that link just in case you want to peep that video on your own, or want to subscribe to them. They've been really crushing it and giving some really fun takes on that, especially if you want to nerd out on some of that stuff. It kind of gives you a good opportunity to get a little bit of nerd on. Okay, yeah. So I'm looking. I saw the one that they did on how the fire started, and okay, cool. I'm keeping my eye on them because I think they're just great. But yeah, so I thought that was good. I thought it would give you an opportunity again to kind of peep in and see some of the things that have been going on, and maybe get answers some of your questions. Like, I never thought about how fire hydrants worked. I just thought they just worked. I didn't know that. So that's kind of cool to know some of the ins and outs of how they work and how they get there, that pressure and all that kind of good jazz like that. So everybody, I want to say thank you again. It's been a lot of fun tonight. I really do appreciate it. We're going to come back and do this again real soon. I got a lot of fun videos dropping tomorrow, so make sure you check those out. We're looking at a little bit more of Dalton. I got a fun video coming up on, of course, Umar Johnson. I got to. I just got to. I can't do anything else. I got to give Umar that work. But I want to say thank you to everybody who's checked out the videos. Thank you to everybody who's liked what I've been putting out. Give me some feedback. I've gotten some great email comments. So I really do appreciate that. And of course, I appreciate you helping me hit my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of April. Before Tiffany goes to jail, let's go ahead and get 50,000 subscribers. Let's do it. Let's make it happen soon, real quick. And until next time, everybody, I want to say thank you so much. Until next time, grace and peace. Take care.
Yo, hit that like for a deal with Christian. Yo, for a deal with Christian. Smash that bell for the upsy. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian. For a deal with Christian. Smash that bell for the upsy. Yo, smash it. Just smash it. Hit that like for a deal with Christian.